All right. Great stuff. Happy Friday, everybody. It's going to be a great weekend. Beautiful weather. Hopefully everybody's enjoying things. By the way, if you're not in the village, if you're not in Florida, you need to get here. Like, the weather is absolutely outstanding. This is the best time of year to be here. So if you're not enjoying 70-degree weather and it's beautiful outside, then you need to move, right? I've been in Florida since 1995, and I feel like, it's not the perfect place to live, but darn it, it's beautiful during the wintertime for sure. And I think everybody needs to move here. And I think a lot of people are feeling that way. We're getting a lot of people from all over the country. That's been happening, the last couple of years, especially from the West Coast. And, we've always gotten people from South Florida and, always people from the Midwest and Northeast. A couple of things. We're going to really talk about, one, I want to talk about Vanity Fair. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to talk about market correction in the villages. And a lot of people feel like market correction, we're going to talk about market correction in a couple of ways. So market correction is not always super negative. It's not always super negative. In fact, I think it's a little bit more positive today anyway. So one thing I want to point out about the marketplace is how similar we are to 2019. So we're going to address that. Then we'll talk about Vanity Fair in a minute. But, 2022, if you look at, how many homes sold in each month, obviously 131 in January of 2022, it wasn't the high. January of 2021 was the high. And I think 2021, if you look at it, the number of homes that sold was the best selling year in history, in the history of the Village's real estate. That goes without saying. And I think it's real obvious, post pandemic, people wanting to buy multiple homes, interest rates being low, everybody's house selling, everybody's house, multiple offers, that type of thing. And I'm talking to people around the country, and recently, over the last 2 weeks, interest rates have gone down. We're now at 5.75 on a 30-year fixed, which is the lowest we've seen in a while. I'm seeing more exuberance, more excitement, or maybe not excitement, it might be a strong word, more positiveness about the real estate market around the country for the first time in probably about 8 to 10 months, for sure, since like late spring, early summer of 2022. And I think it's because interest rates have come down. I think that's very much a positive thing. And I'm surprised by that. I was one of the first people to think that, look, we might be seeing 8% interest rates, and we almost did. And maybe we still might. That could still happen. Who knows? But right now, I didn't think we'd ever get down to the fives, at least for a couple of years. And we're in the fives right now. And that's really moving the market along. And we have to remember, guys, remember this. You have to remember this one point. This is probably one of the major points. In the whole cycle of population, millennials, there's so many millennials out there that there's still a shortage of homes in every marketplace. Every marketplace, there's a shortage of homes. Now, inventory has gone up in every marketplace, including in the villages. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. But, we've been around the 300 mark. And that's significantly more than what we saw on the low of the market a year ago. But it's a lot. It's still 150 less. It's still 50% less than, or pretty close to 50% less than our peak from last probably 2 years ago, inventory wise, right? Number of homes on the market. But I want to show you, when we're looking at 2022, looking at this chart here, the 2022 numbers, as you start going down and you start looking at October of last year, all the way through December, fourth quarter, and we're going to have our 2022 summary report come out in a week. So those of you that are interested, please text me at 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. I've had a couple of people text me already for the report. I can send you the digital report. We're going to get the hard copy next week and ask your favorite realtor for that. But 97, 88, 95, the number of homes that have sold fourth quarter of 2022. And that is very, very reminiscent of what we saw. If you look at 2019, January, February numbers, it's almost like if you were to eliminate like March of 2019 all the way through 2021, and then you plugged in fourth quarter of 2022 and connected it with 2019, there's a lot of similarities there, a ton of similarities. And that's what we're seeing. We're really seeing a return to 2019 numbers. Another thing I want to share with you that's very interesting, I don't have a share screen on this, but something that's really interesting is that back in 2022, we saw 83 homes close. These are closings. These are MLS numbers, by the way. Everything I'm giving you is MLS numbers. January 1 through January 20th, which is what today is, January 20th, 2023. If we look at 2022, last year, 83 homes sold, closed the first 20 days of the year. In 2021, 86 homes closed January 1 through January 20th. In 2020, 61 homes closed, right? So you're seeing you're seeing some similarities here. 2022, January, super on fire market. 21, the same thing. 2020 was just before the pandemic, and it was just a very kind of normalish marketplace. 61 homes sold, 41 in 2019. 41 homes. Guess what the number is of closed homes 2023, January 1 through 2020 through January 20th of this year? Think about it. 42 homes closed this year so far. That's almost identical to the 2019 numbers. 2019 numbers, 41. So compared to 2022, 21, 20, we're down. Villages is down. By the way, every market is very similar to this. And I've studied a lot of different markets across the country. So in 2022, high market, 21, high market, 2020, also high, but not as high. 2019, normalish marketplace with higher interest rates. And I don't remember what the interest rates were, but I think they were in the fives, probably lower fives, maybe upper fours, low fives. And now we're seeing the same thing. The differences are this. I think we're going to see very much a 2019 kind of market, but we're not returning to 2019 average sales price, right? So we saw the market correction. The market correction, I think, has taken place, and the number of homes that are going to sell, we're seeing it like significantly less. And in many cases, I think, as much as 40, 50% less homes selling. That's the difference between January 1 through January 20 or January 20th, the last 3 years, like 50% less homes. That's significant. So it seems like, oh my gosh, nothing is selling when that many, less homes are selling, but the average sales price is much higher, right? We're holding steady on the average sales price. So that's an interesting fact that we're seeing right now. I think we're seeing more of a return to 2019 numbers. I'd like to hear your comments. Like to hear what you think. And actually more on comments on this. This is super interesting. Vanity Fair. And I did a quick video on this on YouTube Shorts. You're able to see it. Vanity Fair did an article, and I still need to, I want to read it again because there's a lot of interesting things in there. What do you think about the Vanity Fair article about the villages, where there's some disparaging things, there's some true things, some factual stuff, and then there's some things that are And we've been seeing comments on like who reads Vanity Fair, which I agree, but sometimes they put out an article that's a little bit controversial, and I think this one definitely fits the bill. So read it, and then let me know what you think in the chat after the fact. Let me know what you're thinking about that particular article. Comments, agree, disagree, that type of thing. But 2019 numbers, I think, is more of what we're going to see. I think, let me share one more thing on market correction. First week, and this is something that's going to be, we're going to pay attention to this because, yes, January 1 through January 20th, very similar numbers to 2019. But I will tell you that hardly anything was taking place the first 10 days of the year. January 1 through January 10 of this year, hardly anything. But the 7-day numbers, the last 7 days, this is probably, where the highest number of homes have gone under contract. So last 7 days in the villages, MLS, we've seen 34 new listings, one price increase, 50 price decreases, right? Price reductions, people noticing, we're too high for the marketplace. We wanted to push it, wanted to test it. We're too high. We need to reduce the price so we can get it sold. 20 closed, which basically, that's a trailing number for people that study stats. There's something called leading indicator and lagging indicators. And sold, the close number is always a lagging indicator. Leading indicators, obviously, one of the leading indicators is going to be, the pending numbers. And the pending numbers, meaning how many buyers are in the marketplace, is also a leading indicator, but it's very hard to track. But we are setting, I almost want to say setting records. We're setting records for the last 12 months as far as how many people are showing up at open houses, which is, anywhere between 15 to 20 that will show up at an open house on a regular basis. Some people doing an outstanding job just inviting neighbors to events and parties. And, we're bringing in 25 to 50 people at open houses. It's a great tool. And it's something we really take advantage of. Obviously, we advertise in the Daily Sun several times, twice a week in our group ads, and some of our agents will do, classified ads, display ads, to advertise and market property. But, our belief at Realty Executives is to give you the most amount of exposure possible. And we do that obviously through the Daily Sun. We do that through social media. We do that through YouTube. We do that through our channels, open houses, caravan. We have a caravan every Wednesday. We're also, for people that want a villages tour, we're also opening that up too. If you want a tour, because we have a bus, we have a villages bus that you can ride on and, take a tour of the villages if that's something you want. But 38 under contract, which is for the last 7 days, which is a leading indicator as to what we're going to see in the future. That we'll probably see that many more, obviously, in the sold column. So that's something to pay attention to. 38 pendings in the last 7 days. So leave your comments in the chat. If you have questions, let me know, 352-572-3796. And please subscribe. That would be great. Thumbs up if you like it. Yes, Kate is asking, I think prices are holding steady due to low inventory. Yes, and it's low-ish inventory, right? Like it's not as low as what it was, but it's low-ish. And due to low sales, prices will keep going up due to increasing inventory. So somewhat, I think what's happening is the combination of lowish inventory is really helping things out, and the fact that interest rates have dropped is definitely a major play, because people's homes are actually selling around the country, and when people's homes are selling around the country, it's easier for people to actually buy here in the villages. It's common sense. That makes it easier for people to buy here. But the other thing that's happening is that, the inventory being relatively low really does help. And like I said before, a couple of years back, pretty much sometime in 2020, we saw 451 homes on the market. Right now, we're seeing 310 that are active on the market right now. So, we've been holding steady at 300, somewhere between 298 to like 310, 315, I think was the high over the last 2 months. So we're staying steady. It looks like we're creeping up, inventory wise. I think we'll probably, if I had to guess, 400. But if interest rates drop some more, and we're in the middle of season now where things are really starting to cook and people are really looking for a home, then that could change. Inventory is like Kate says, inventory is the true key to understanding the marketplace for sure. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Happy January. If you're up north, stay warm, or better yet, give us a call and move south. Come visit the villages.